Good morning and welcome back to the Melrose showroom. I'm LeAnn Moyers. I'm here with Ken Fettgatter. Nice to see you.
Well, always nice to see you, LeAnn.
Well, we are here in Las Vegas. We happen to be standing in C618. We are also presenting this week in C606. This is kind of our new debut for Home and Garden with this new showroom setup.
Totally. Last season we moved in like right at the beginning of this year, and so we didn't get to introduce our new line. So this is the first time we get to showcase our new line in this showroom.
Right. And you know, the sixth floor, we moved from the ninth floor down to the sixth floor, 618, 606, like I said. But as you come off the escalators and you come right down this hallway, the first thing you see is we have such a larger space here, and that allows us to present things in a different way.
Totally. And it just laid out so easy for me. It was a pleasure to present it to you.
Well, we have completed our Dallas show and our Atlanta show, and that allows us to have our top sellers list. I've looked at it very carefully, the top 100, the top 200. I've looked all the way down the list. And what we're doing this week is we're kind of pointing out some of those top sellers, those things that are trending and moving up lists, things that are selling really well that are returning items. But we kind of wanted to start here. You and I talked about this because of this print right behind us, because this is an amazing piece of wall art that came through in Atlanta, but it was kind of in the back corner. But here we have it right out front.
Well, LeAnn, when these pieces came in at the beginning of the season, I too fell in love with them. They're some of my favorites, and part of the reason why I like them is I really like the watercolor effect that each of them show, the larger print and the two below. They're just beautifully done, and again with watercolor, but those beautiful shades of aquas and ocean blues that come together, and blues are trending again.
Yes.
And they're strong. Not that blue ever goes out, but they're really strong this season. Mm-hmm. And we see it everywhere, and these prints are the perfect solution for using that watercolor trend and bringing your blues into your room.
Well, let's talk about things that really are selling well, and right below it is this fountain. Oh. And this is in our top 100.
Well, it should be.
Yes, it should.
It's an awesome piece.
It's amazing.
I just love not just the top. It reminds me of an old-fashioned water fountain, but below, I love the window effect where it's got the rainfall falling down through it. It's a great piece, very effective.
You know, it's aesthetically appealing, it's acoustically appealing because we can see it. We have the LED light right there on the top, but the sound of the rain pattering, that to me, and you know, this is a very artistic piece anyway, how you have that window to look through there, but it's a resin fountain. So in the past we had a lot of metal fountains, but now we've moved into resins and ceramics.
And they're much better, they last a lot longer.
Yeah, and you know, they just give us a lot different finish. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, is this a stone fountain? What is this? This is a resin fountain, and it is going to have some durability. As we move through Waterfront, though, a lot of our items that are doing really, really well here aren't the big items that are doing well, but some of the smaller items.
Our customers have let us know that they're looking for small things just to put on shelves, just to decorate, just small things. They don't want to clutter their houses with oversized things, and then it takes up a lot of space. They like that openness, and you can achieve that by downsizing your accent pieces in the room. And none better than some of these vases, especially that set of two over there. It's really hot.
Oh, the little blue?
Oh, yeah, it's got that seafoam green color along with the deeper aqua blues of the ocean. The two pair together so successfully.
Well, let's swing over here and take a look at this other table, because there are two things I want to talk about here. One, I want to talk about the blue glass in the front, but first I want to talk about the white lanterns in the back, because Melrose has had the best-selling lanterns year after year after year in our top list, and it has been that natural color that we're showcasing in Dwelling. But this season we have these brand new set of three that we have with white finish, and we put it in Waterfront.
Well, white is fresher, so it gives it a whole new look. White is also trending. It's a great color, even though there is no color to it.
Right.
But white is a separating color, and it really lets all your other colors come through. So when you put something in there that's white in your room, the colors that you accent the room with will pop because it separates it. And the sea glass in front, glass is so hot right now too, especially tinted glass. As you can see, some of our vases below, those are top sellers again.
Yeah, I have to stop right there and say these two right here. These two are
yes.
the ones that are really selling hot, hot, hot right now. You can buy this one up front separate, but these two are the ones that people they love it.
Right, and all the sea glass pieces with the fish, the candle holders, and just art sculptures that just add interest to a room.
Sure. And it's something about that translucency. They just really like that. So let's talk about what happened here, because I walked in and I was kind of a little bit lost. I looked at this and went, now wait a minute, that's waterfront here at the front of this showroom, but over here, this is something different. And you presented this in a way that we did not see in Dallas or Atlanta. This is a whole different look to me than what we saw. And I'm excited about it, and I'm excited to share it with people.
Well, I have an advantage. As the Atlanta show's going on, I come out to Vegas and I start setting up, but I get the advantage of knowing what you, the customer, wants, because you're already starting to set the trends, and we see your buying needs and the directions you're going. So I base the way I'm setting it Vegas up on what you do in our other two showrooms. And there was an area of one of our gardens that we featured some of the new blue items because blue is trending, and we had it set up in Atlanta, and I noticed all the interest there that people were giving to that area. So I decided to make it a stronger vision here in Vegas and pair it with waterfront, because the blues just merge beautifully together.
If you walked in here, you would think that this was a curated collection straight across the front of the showroom, even though the showroom really is split front to back. Like, this is waterfront on one side, cottage garden on the other, but each section as we go through here, you'll see that it pairs.
Exactly, and we brought in some more pieces that accent all those aquas and blues. We introduced these two little angels, or garden angels, last year that did very, very well for us. And we brought in a couple of smaller accessory pieces with birds and a little bird feeder below here with the leaf and the birds on there. But again, all that aquatic colors, whether it's aquas, teals, sea foams, patinas, all of it, you're going to see in waterfront, and again repeated over in cottage garden.
Well, you kind of nicked on a topic that we should talk about, and that's, I had someone ask me before, how do you know something's trending? How do you know something's a bestseller? And sometimes we see something like our ladies here on the table, where they were presented last season and they were trending, because out of the all 900 new SKUs that we have, it's tough to make that top 200 list. I mean, we've got some really exciting products, but they were trending last year. We brought it back this year. Now all of a sudden they picked up momentum because customers have seen them, they've thought about it, they're getting reorders in, so we're getting reorders with new orders, and now we would consider that to be a bestseller.
Totally, and there's other items that you're going to find throughout our showroom that have the same storyline, and that's what makes it fun and exciting.
I always love those lists, because I go through there and I pick out little things, and we talk to people about what's going to sell well for them, what's a value, what's a perceived value for them, what they're looking for. But then you just have sometimes you just have like a wow item, like, that lamp's a wow. That's a wow.
It is. It's a beautiful shade of blue. Shape is great. Again, it's just trending with everything else that we're showing here in this line.
Okay, so let's shift. Now we're in like the second tier back from waterfront, and all of a sudden we've got this natural water's edge look, maybe more lake. We've got some ducks in here, some geese in here, things like that. But some of our botanicals in here are some of our trending new and some of our best-selling returning pieces that we're working with.
Well, you just touched on waterfront, and what we've done in the past, we've had sort of an aquatic area, but it was always more ocean related. And waterfront is really what we need for every region of the country, because there are so many different types of water. There's rivers, there's lakes, there's ponds, there's streams, and there's rustic areas, and then there's what I would call the formal areas by some of the oceans. But here, this is obviously a little more rustic, and I jokingly laugh when I call this the swamp area to me. Right. But I call it the swamp because I get the feeling that I might be down in a bayou or something down in the south, and some of our new foliages and botanicals, as you mentioned, really give you that feeling. As you can see in this garland here, we also have it in a drop, and then there's a wreath that also has sort of that feeling. But there's one stem here I want to share with you, and
I'm
pull it
so
off
glad
the wall.
you're grabbing that. That is a good idea.
This is one of our eucalyptus, and it's got a little bit of a dusting on it, and the dusting helps bring in that blue shade, so we're getting blues and greens all coming through here. It's a great piece. It's one of our top sellers right now.
Too. It's a value.
Oh, totally.
So if you're a store and you don't have this in your Dallas or your Atlanta order, this is one of those ones you need to be talking to your sales rep about adding to it.
Right. The color is what draws my eye to it. I love the color on it and the simplicity and it's just simple but easy. But the main characteristic of this that I really enjoy is this is all wired, and I'm just going to bend it up here.
Oh, that's great.
Just to show you that it's flexible, it's durable, you can shape it, expand it, spread it out, give volume to it. And I think, LeAnn, you were just mentioning to me you saw in Atlanta.
I did. Well, I saw it in
Share
another
this.
place over in another collection, and what the designers had done is just took two of those and put them together. But by the time they used the wiring edges, it was full. It was just in one, presentation piece. But they just took two of those, and that was it. It was enough. And so that was definitely a design tip for that piece of that spray. And that is in our top 10 right now. So that is a really hot item to have. But let's talk about another really, really, really hot item, and that's these vases, because these vases were on a table in Atlanta, and every person that walked by, you were already here setting up. So you didn't get to see the awe that people had on their face.
No, I missed that. But I get to enjoy it while I'm in Vegas when people come.
Well, they just walk by these, and you have a total different look for these vases because one's a little bit taller, but they're both, got that vertical thrust you were talking about that you love.
Yes, the narrow neck that you mentioned before. And what I like about it is the two-tone color, because we got the natural unglazed look at the base and then that beautiful shine of the glaze above. This reminds me of where sand and water comes together, because when the sand gets wet it changes colors, and that's what I see when I see this vase. So it takes me there, and the rippling on here too mimics the ripple of the water.
Yes, I love how you've got the vertical appeal, but you've got the horizontal here with that. It's really a very well put together set of vases. But okay, let's talk about this. Because in Atlanta, you presented these with all the dried from dwelling, and everybody was, the dried, and they would buy up all the dried pieces. And here, you're in waterfront, and you're showing what it looks like when you add a spiller to it, and you have that green look. What motivated you here?
This area where it is right now, because it's swampy looking, and so we wanted that grassy and the drippy effect of botanicals as you're walking through the bayou, as I mentioned earlier. But also, what I try to do sometimes, I don't want to mimic our showrooms where they're identical exactly, because I want interest for the customer when they come to every showroom. I want to encourage you to attend every one of our showrooms, because I guarantee you, you're going to see something different in every one. The way we present it, the way we group it, and that way it also helps represent our reps when they're going out on the road. They can give options. You can make this look more rustic this way. You can make it more trendy with the drives. There's so many different applications you can add to this vase now to accent it, and it gives you more thoughts.
I absolutely love it. You touched on something there. How are you going to see it? Do you need to get on a plane? Do you have to go to Dallas and Atlanta and Vegas in order to see the differences? We do provide a lot of videos to you. Some of them are public like this. Like right now we're on Facebook doing a Facebook Live, and you can see everything that we're going to show behind us. But at the same time, we have a lot of private things that we just send to our customers, and we send those out through private email lists and private groups that we have. And so if you're not part of Melrose Retailers, that's a big group that we have. That is through the Facebook program. Melrose Insiders is through our texting program, where you're going to get videos that go to your phone so you can watch them. And then, of course, the emails. So we have a private email list that we're going to send a lot of videos. We can't leave here without talking about the other big hot thing at a waterfront that is selling very, very well, and that's these pieces here and what you did with this entire gray look.
Well, it was shown differently in Atlanta. We had it up on a shelf and everything, but I just wanted it to have a little bit more focus here. And the pieces we introduced last year down here, the rabbits, the birds, and the gnomes, they have that marbleization, almost like old soapstone. Do you remember that effect
see it like
from years
as
ago?
rock, or absolutely. But they're lightweight.
Yes, but they're nice pieces. And then we brought in some new wall art that I just thought paired so nicely with these sculpts and the different figurines on the table. But especially the one piece in the middle with the grasses. It's just a beautiful piece. And the coloration in there just mimics all the marbleization on the figurines.
Perfectly. I mean, it just goes. It just works. And you think, well, what do bunnies and birds have to do with the waterfront? Because it's nature. And so whether it's the element of the rock or the ground that you're seeing or the grasses that are growing at the seashore, you also love these pebbles here.
You know, at first when I first saw them, I thought they were a little crazy, but I look at them, but they're modern.
Yes.
They're contemporary, and they're a distinctive art form, and it reminds me almost of child play. Like some of your kids went outside and took some little pebbles or river rock, and you told them, let's glue them in a rosette and make a little flower out of it, and a little ink on there, and we have a stem or a tree. But they're beautifully done. I really like them. I think they're fun. I think they're a conversation piece.
I like all of this. Like, I look at this and I go, oh my goodness, this looks so different than what I saw. And you know, let's talk about this too. You touched on, you know, the coastal design and the beach and the fact that we've always kind of had more vacation-y things. Waterfront is upscale this year.
Totally.
This season we just took that whole concept and just raised and elevated that quite a bit.
Yeah, we did, and we did because you've asked us to. You've said, so many of you live in so many different regions of the country. You're not on East Coast, West Coast, or South Coast. You are in the middle of the country, and you have water. You have water. You have a different type of waterfront, and I think we've achieved that this year. We've addressed it, and we brought it to life. It's awesome.
I agree. Well, we are thanking you for being here with us this morning in C606 and C618 here for Melrose. If you haven't seen us before, our doors are open. This is a perfect time to just come in and browse and take a look at a few things. If you want to set an appointment with the sales reps, make sure to go ahead and reach out to them, find a good time in both of your schedules that fits for you, and we would be happy to do that for you. Again, happy to be here in Las Vegas. Make sure to look for those emails and those private group messages that are going to be coming through too.